Hey, what is up, everybody? This is steviebreech coming to you here today. I've been honestly thinking about this video for probably the last 20 minutes or so. I was cruising Twitter and I came across R.D. Reynolds from Wrestle Crap Radio's post, basically saying that he was going to miss his friend, Blade Braxton. Came with a snippet of a tweet. Not a tweet, I apologize. Like a direct message on Facebook is honestly what it looked like. But just saying, thank you. I read it over a couple times and basically kind of read it like Blade was saying goodbye to RD and Wrestle Crap Radio, maybe wanting to leave it behind, but kept on like reading the comments on the Twitter page, then going over, just being so confused, like why Blade would leave Wrestle Crap Radio, or Wrestle Crap in general, a website that's been around for 20 years, not really wanting to make sense of what really was in front of me. Kept on reading the comments and reading things like rest in peace, and like saying like I don't think he's dead. I don't think he's passed. But just kept on reading and not wanting to really believe it. Mostly, I can honestly say, because I'm a fan of the show, is that April Fool's is right up around the corner. A show that's probably, right up there with their Black Friday show or their Halloween show. It's normally where they do some kind of spoof and they make us believe that they sold the show to Damien Demento, or it was taken over by the bird down in the basement, or they turned it into a real wrestling show. But then I couldn't really think that RD would pull a prank like that, basically saying that, one of them died. It doesn't really make sense that he would do something like that. That kind of is one of those things that it pushes the limit too far, and it's not really a joke anymore. But I finally just I looked at RD's Facebook page, I looked at RD's Twitter page, I looked at Blade's Twitter page, and then finally just went to the site, and the first thing that was posted is just rest in peace Blade Braxton, and was just shit. I couldn't believe it. I have never met Blade. I've never talked to Blade. I've never, been on a Skype call, anything. I've been lucky enough to trade a few tweets with the guy. But Wrestle Crap Radio was the first podcast that I ever listened to. I didn't even listen to it on iTunes. I listened to it off of the actual Wrestle Crap webpage, and then finally, once I got advanced to where I got my first iPod and learned what iTunes was, I listened to it off of there. I can easily, off the top of my head, think that Wrestle Crap Radio debuted in 2005. I want to guess. I've been listening to this show for 15 years. And when it first came out, at least I can remember, it was kind of like a weekly ordeal. And then, they basically, their lives got hectic to the point they didn't think they could do it anymore. And that's when it ended, maybe 10 years ago. And that's when they switched over to doing the RD and Blade show. And then they were doing so many of those. And it was like, if we're just going to do this, we might as well do Wrestle Crap Radio. And they brought Wrestle Crap Radio back. And it was like they never really missed a beat. Even though they only do it once a month. They try to do that mostly because of the Patreon members are, donating money for them to get something for what they're doing. Because even though the Troller Corporation has been sponsoring this show for the last 10, 15 years, I don't really think that they're bringing home buckets of money. Like back in the day when RD was related to Burt Reynolds. But I've been listening to this show so long that I feel like, I know Blade and RD. If I met them at a convention, I'm sure I would have thought of them more as my friend. And I'm sure that a lot of people, when they meet Conrad Thompson, when they meet Dave Meltzer, Brian Alvarez, because of the fact that, you listen to Brian and Vinny, or you listen to Brian and Dave, you listen to Conrad talk to, Conrad's got a podcast that I think comes out every day now with, the Orange Show, Tony Schiavone, you've got Bruce Pritchard, you've got Arn Anderson, JR, and God damn it, who's the one that I didn't say yet? But he's got, a million shows that he's doing. Did I say Bischoff? I mean, I listened to this show so long that I feel like I knew Blade. And I know that when I got that ticket for WrestleMania 26, he had talked about on the show that he had been to the past few previous WrestleManias. He really just flew in for the event, flew out. Doesn't really matter what his seats were, but, he was the first person. Most people know the story that, I tried to get a hold of Gemini, and that's how I got the friends. Ravi, Miguel, Gem, Luke. All of those guys mostly became because I won that contest. If I never would have won that contest, I never would have asked Jim to go, which never would have let me to be in that Skype call. And those are the real friends that I have in real life that I think would do anything for me if I, texted them anything right now. They'd respond with their true feelings about, what's going on. But, who gives a shit about Wrestle Crap Radio or Wrestle Crap? I'm sure RD will land on his feet and figure something out. If he wants to keep doing the show, he'll do the show. But, to lose a guy like, Blade, I've only made a video like this one time. Lucky enough because back in 2010, 2011, a guy from the YWC died. I think his name was Big Mike. He made videos. People watched him. He wasn't the most popular guy in the world, but I think most people subscribe to him, and they at least see their videos in their subscription box. And then all of a sudden, a guy like us just passes away. It sucks. There's no news that I can find out there about, why this happened or what happened. And sometimes when you learn things like that, it kind of makes sense, and it puts the puzzle pieces together, and at least you can kind of move on, and it's not something you're really thinking about. But I'll tell you the truth, as of right now in my life, I'm 39. I turned 40 in August, and I honestly really don't believe that, and still don't understand really what in this life, what life and death really is. But I mean, this is something that I'm going to be thinking about for a while. And like I said, I never even shook this guy's hand, never even looked him in the eye. I only had the chance to listen to him on the radio, and not even the real radio. And I'm not taking a shot at him, I apologize. But, a podcast. Who would have known that this would have been such a big part of my life? I've listened to every episode of Wrestle Crap Radio at least 2 or 3 times. On my old iPod, I had all the shows on there, and I would listen to them in a loop, where basically I would start, and the old ones were 10, 15 minutes long. You can listen to a few of them on a lunch break. And then the shows started turning into hour and a half, 2-hour ordeals. And I think all of us loved them. And, even though there's no set day on when, they would release, you get that mark out moment when you get in the car and it'd start downloading, and you'd be like, a Wrestle Crap Radio is going to be available to you in 30, 45 seconds. You could start listening to it. That was it to me. That made my day. And something is like that, I'm sure, helped make his day. That he was making something that something like me was able to listen to while they were working, and be able to get through a day. So, sad day out there for anybody out there in Wrestle Crap land. I don't know, man. This one hits hard. Hits different, I guess you could say. I've made lots of videos like this about wrestlers and talked about, wrestling moments that I can remember, and thinking it was cool that I saw them on my TV, and being weird that I'm not going to be able to see them or hear about them anymore. But this one, when I really didn't know how much of a Macho Man fan I was until Macho Man died in 2011. This one is different because I honestly feel like I would feel like if I lost one of my friends. I don't know. At this point, guys, I'm just talking to talk, and I apologize. But if anybody's still out there I can just honestly say that I'm shook up by this. And, Blade Braxton was one hell of a dude. And I'm glad that I had a chance to know him, even if it was through my phone. Peace out, guys.